Hey guys, it's Jackie and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to show you guys how I create a flawless canvas. So this is going to be my foundation routine that I do to create perfect looking skin. I know I don't have the worst skin, but even if you have troubled skin, a lot of scars, discoloration, acne scars, anything like that, hopefully this foundation routine helps you guys out to create a flawless full coverage look. So if you guys are interested in finding out how to do that, or if you just want to see my foundation routine, then just keep on watching. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Jackie, or you can call me JaaackJack. Make sure you hit that red subscribe button so you are watching my Basic Monday series. And if you don't know what that is, it's my beginner-friendly makeup series. If you guys have any questions, comments, requests for future Basic Monday videos, if you're struggling with anything with your makeup application, make sure you let me know in the comments below, and it just might be my next Basic Monday video. So I think I have said enough in this intro, so let's go ahead and get started with my foundation routine. So I'm going to just tuck my hair behind my ears and then we can get started. So all I have is moisturizer on my skin that I applied a few hours ago, so it's already kind of set into my skin. So the first thing I'm going to go into is a primer. This is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. I switch up my primers all the time, but this primer is a really great one if you have textured skin. I have some textured skin kind of like around my T-zone area, like my nose, a little bit like down the bridge of my nose and my chin. Make sure before anything your hands are freshly cleaned. You don't want to touch your face with dirty hands because you have like germs and bacteria and you're just rubbing that all over your face. Not only is that gross, but you can also cause acne and breakouts by using dirty hands and dirty tools. So make sure your hands are clean, because with my primer I actually like to use my hands. I really like this primer because it just creates the smoothest layer on top of your skin, and it just makes your skin feel really silky and soft and smooth, so that way when you go into your foundation, which is the next step, it just glides on so effortlessly and you kind of eliminate that rough looking texture from any bumps or anything on your skin. This primer also helps to blur out any large pores or fine lines, so I also like to run it under my eyes as well, since I do have some fine lines under there. For my foundation, I'm going to be using the IT Cosmetics CC Plus cream. This is a color correcting full coverage cream foundation, and it says anti-aging hydrating serum. If you have dry skin, which I do have, I highly recommend this. I think it feels so nice on the skin. It's not too heavy, not too cakey, nothing like that. I am in the shade medium. So to apply that, I'm going to be using a damp beauty blender. So I'm a huge fan of sponges and beauty blenders, especially if they are damp. So if you're using a sponge, make sure you use it damp. It helps to blend the product a lot better onto your skin. If you're using a dry sponge, it'll usually soak up all the product, which I'm not going to lie, the beauty blender does soak up some product, but if you're using it dry, it's going to soak up even more. So I'm just going to take a pump of this onto my finger and then dot this all over my cheek. So I just like to take this on my finger and then dot this all over my face. And once I have this all over my face, I'll go ahead and take my damp beauty blender, and instead of wiping and dragging the beauty blender across my skin, I'm just going to bounce and tap the beauty blender onto my skin like this. And then I'll just go around my entire face with this same motion to blend in the foundation. A damp beauty blender is seriously magical when it comes to foundation application, because it just bounces the product into your skin and creates the most perfect airbrush look. So ever since I started using beauty blenders, I actually no longer use airbrush foundation, which I used to use years ago. I used to use airbrush foundation because it gave you that flawless finish, but you know what? You can achieve that with a damp beauty blender. So here is what one layer of foundation looks like, and you can totally leave it like this. And if you're a beginner, you might be wondering, why do we put foundation on? Like, what is the purpose of foundation? Foundation is to even out your skin tone. So if you have like redness, which is very common to have redness like around your nose or mouth or near your eyes. So foundation helps to just even everything out. But then also if you have any problem areas like scars, breakouts, or anything like that, it can also help cover the discoloration from those as well. So keep in mind, with any products you're using, when you're doing a foundation routine, you can create a perfect canvas with color, but you cannot change really the textures. So if you have breakouts that are above the skin and your skin's a little bumpy, yes, you can use like the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer to help kind of smooth that out, but it's still not going to change like the texture of your skin. So if you like turn to the side, you're still going to see those bumps, but it won't be as noticeable because with all the products we're going to use, we're going to cover up that discoloration from those breakouts and things like that. So it makes it not as noticeable, but if someone's like up close and like you turn to the side, they can see those bumps still. I hope that clarifies any questions that some beginners out there might have. So you can definitely leave it like this and move on to the next step, which is concealer, but I actually like to add another layer of this foundation on top, just in my cheek area, because we've already covered up all the main discoloration, like the redness around my nose and my eyes. It's already covered up, but I have a lot of freckles on my cheeks that I like to cover up when I do makeup. So that's why I like to go in with just another layer right on my cheeks. And what I like about this foundation is, yes, you can add more layers, but it's not going to feel really heavy on the skin at all. I'm going to use the same method and just bounce the Beauty Blender onto my skin to blend it out. And don't forget to blend the foundation onto your neck as well, so everything blends nicely and you don't have like this weird, like your face is one color, your neck is another color. Everything just blends nicely together. Now that we're done with our foundation, we can move on to concealer, and my favorite concealer in the whole wide world is the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I'm in the shade Light Medium. This is the best concealer I've ever tried. The coverage on this is amazing and it just lasts a long time, so highly, highly, highly recommend this if you can get your hands on it. It's life-changing. It is. So with concealer, why do we use concealer? Concealer is great to use on problem areas that your foundation weren't able to cover up. So usually concealers have a more thicker consistency and more full coverage effect, so you can put it just on certain areas of your face that need a little more coverage. Or the other way you can use concealer, which is my favorite, is to brighten up and highlight your face. So this concealer is just slightly lighter than my skin tone, so I put it in areas to brighten and bring light to my face. So if you have like darkness under your eyes, this would be a great one to use. So I like to put it under my eyes to brighten my eyes, but also down the center of my face to just bring more light to that area as well. And also what I've been doing lately is applying some right onto my jawline. I don't know why I started doing this, but I love the way it looks, so I'm just gonna keep doing it. And to blend it out, I am using the same damp beauty blender. So one standard or key rule to makeup is that whenever you apply a cream or liquid product, you want to put a powder on top of it to set it and lock it into place, so that way it doesn't like melt, smear, or move around throughout the day or anything like that. That goes for like products on your eyes and also products on your face. So now that we've applied our foundation and concealer, which are both creamy liquid products, we want to put a powder on top to set everything. And if you're going for a full coverage look, I recommend using a powder foundation that you like. Or if you just want to do a light setting just to make sure that the cream and liquid products don't move, you can use a translucent setting powder. But because I want to go full coverage, that's why I like to go in with a powder foundation. My favorite is actually a drugstore one. This is from Physicians Formula. It's been my favorite for years. It's the Mineral Wear talc-free mineral wear face powder in beige, and I like to take this on a pretty dense brush. So this is a flat top brush from Pure Cosmetics. So with brushes that are pretty dense like this, you're gonna get a more full coverage effect with whatever product that you're using. For example, if I were to use a brush like this, it's a little more flimsy and tapered out, so this would give me a lighter coverage. But because this is a dense flat brush, you're gonna get full coverage with whatever product that you're using. So I take my foundation powder, load up my brush, and then I'm not going to buff or wipe this all over my face. I like to just tap this on my face. Again, this tutorial is showing you how to get full coverage, flawless skin. So this is just the method and the way that I do it to achieve a flawless skin. I know other people will do other things that include like baking and things like that. This is just what I do and it works for me. So whenever you're watching my tutorials or other people's tutorials, just take the tips that you like, that you want to incorporate in your routine that work for you, and just leave the rest. So if I'm doing something that doesn't work for you, just skip it and just continue doing what works for you. So I got the product on my brush and I'm just going to, I like to start under my eyes, but I'm just going to tap the product and set everything in place. And again, I'm not wiping the product or rubbing this brush against my skin. I'm literally just tapping it the same way I use the Beauty Blender. Setting the powder also helps to control any shine that you might have after applying your foundation and your concealer. So if you do have oily skin, definitely don't skip out on setting it with a powder. So now we have this perfect flawless canvas to work with, but because we've evened everything out, it's all one color, our face is now kind of flat. So we want to add some dimension to it. So that's when I will move into the next step, which is adding a bronzer or contour. My favorite is from Too Faced Cosmetics. This is the Chocolate Soleil bronzer. I've been using this for so long and it's just my favorite. It looks really nice on my skin tone. So I'm going to use this with a fluffy tapered brush like this. This is perfect because it kind of fits right into the hollows of my cheeks really nicely, but it's also really fluffy, so it's going to help blend the product out without even trying. For example, if I used a brush like this to apply bronzer, it would be a lot more harsh and sharp, whereas this one gives a more feathered, softer look when you apply the product. So you want to find something that's a little fluffy and tapered like this. So I'm just going to pick up the product, tap off any excess, and I hold the brush pretty far back. When you have the brush really close, you're using a stronger grip and you have more control, and the product's going to dispense a lot heavier onto your skin. But if you hold the brush pretty far back, it's going to give a lighter, more natural application. So I like to pick up the product, tap off any excess, and then I will start applying this to the hollows of my cheek with a very light hand. So I start where my hairline is, kind of drag it towards the corner of my mouth, and I do a little mixture of like both circular motions and back and forth. So you can make your contour as strong or as light as you want it. I'm just trying to give a little bit of dimension to my skin again, so that way we're not a flat two-dimensional canvas. We have some shape and some shadow before we can like do the rest of our makeup. I'll also bring this up towards the temple of my forehead and also my jawline. So really I'm hitting the whole perimeter of my face and just creating some depth and shadow to my face. I'll also take a smaller brush like this one from Jaaack'd Cosmetics. I think this is meant to blend eyeshadows, but I like to use a smaller brush like this and the same bronzer and slightly go down the sides of my nose to add some shadow here as well. This is going to help give some shape to our nose, make it look a little taller and not so flat. So this step may not be for everyone, but it's something that I like to do in my foundation routine. I'm also going to go in with the highlight and contour palette from IBY Beauty, and I like to take this middle contour shade right here. It's a tiny bit warmer than the Chocolate Soleil bronzer that I was using, so I'll pick up a little bit of that and place it in the same area that I applied the Chocolate Soleil bronzer. I just like the warmth that this adds to my skin. And then with another smaller brush like this, I like to go in with the highlight powder. So these are lighter powders. There's no shimmer or anything like that to them. And because this has no shimmer or glitter in it, it's just going to add a natural highlight to your skin. So I like to put this down the center of my nose, my Cupid's bow, and then I will hit the tops of my cheeks as well. So that's how I create a full coverage flawless face look. So I hope you guys enjoyed and found it helpful. If you're running into any other problem areas with your makeup application, make sure you let me know those in the comments below so that I can help you guys out in my Basic Monday series. So that's it for this video. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry I was so talkative in this video, but I hope you guys learned a thing or two and it helped you guys out. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed, give this video a thumbs up and be sure to share this video with your girlfriends or your guy friends who are interested in learning how to create a flawless full coverage face look. I love you guys so much. You are amazing and you are loved and you are so beautiful, and I hope you guys have an awesome magical day. Haven't said that in a long time. Have a magical day. I love you guys so much. Bye!